Alright, welcome to number 36, not too far to go now. And in this video we're going to be talking about the three major exchanges around the world, what times they open and how they have an effect on the Forex market. Now the reason the Forex market can operate 24 hours a day, 5 days a week, is because there's three different exchanges located around the world that are open at different times and they overlap in a way that you practically have 24 hours a day worth of trading ability. You've got the US market, which is centered in New York. You've got the Asia market, which is in Tokyo, and you've got the European market, which is in London. Now, these three markets are all open at different times, but they do slightly overlap. And obviously, as I say, this is what gives you the ability to trade around the clock, unlike, the likes of the stock markets, etc., unless you had access to each stock market individually. But with the Forex market, it's all sort of put into one place. It's quite awesome like that. So you've got the Asia market, which is obviously the Tokyo exchange. Now that is open. Now I'm going to be giving you Western Australia time, so it's GMT plus 8. And so Asia market is open from 8 in the morning until 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So that's perfect for us here over in Western Australia for trading during the day. Now when the Asia market is the most active, that is when all of those currencies that are within that part of the world are the most active too, such as the Japanese yen, etc., etc., Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar. All of those currencies that fall under the Asian markets are the most active during the Tokyo exchange running hours, if you will. The next one you've got is the London exchange. So that covers the European part of the world, and that runs from 4 o'clock in the afternoon, GMT plus 8, so WA time, until 1 o'clock in the morning. Now, when that market is open, that is when all of your European currencies are going pretty crazy and things are happening, such as the Great British Pound, the Euro, etc., etc. The third one is the New York Exchange, and the New York Exchange obviously covers the United States, and that one runs from 9 o'clock in the afternoon until 6 o'clock in the morning WA time. And obviously when that one is going, you've got all of your currencies from on that side of the world running rampant as well. Mexican peso, the American dollar, USD, the Canadian dollar, and those other ones that run in that same area of the world. And now when you get overlap, that is where you can take a bit more advantage, because you can trade several markets at the same time and you can get really good movements out of them. So for example, if I was trading at, I don't know, let's see, 10 o'clock at night over here, the US and the European markets would be overlapping with each other. So New York and London would both be trading at the same time. London would almost be at the end of its session while the US would just be firing up. Now at this point, if I was trading Euro against the US dollar or Great British Pound against the US dollar, or something to that effect, I'd be getting a lot of movement because both of those exchanges are open, so there's a lot of movement happening. If you go and you look at a currency pair whose markets aren't open at that current time, you'll notice there isn't much happening. There's not a whole lot going on. And you'll also notice that the releases that you see on the economic calendar are somewhat timed around these hours. So obviously middle of the day over here in WA, you're not going to see many American releases because it's middle of the night over there and there's not a whole lot happening. The exchange isn't open. So that is how that works. As I say, if you go and you pick a currency out whose exchange is not open, see how little it actually moves. There'll be next to no movement. But once that exchange fires up at a particular time of the day, obviously check your time from wherever you are in the world and correspond that with their times, add or subtract however many hours you need to in order to figure out the time zone. Make sure you get these figures right, because you don't want to be thinking that they open at a time or close at a time which they don't. So make sure you've got those figures absolutely right, and then you can work around those opening and closing times, and you can pick and choose which currencies you're going to trade at which times of the day or night based on the exchanges and when they work, and also when they overlap each other, which is an awesome opportunity. So that is exchanges in a nutshell, and we're going to move on to video 37. Only 4 more to go, and you are through the training program. Well done. All right, see you in the next video.